$10 trillion out of nowhere. Chapter 469. Chapter 469, The Landlord's Phone Call. Chapter 469, The Landlord's Phone Call. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation. Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. Really? When Clara heard Eve's words, a hint of excitement flashed across her eyes. Yes, the photo that my friend sent me is Connor. This means that Connor is not some rich heir at all, he's just a poor loser from our school. Eve quickly nodded. Then, he took out his cell phone and handed it to Sierra. Sierra reached out and took Eve's phone. She looked at it seriously and confirmed that the person in the photo was Connor. Although this photo was taken when Connor first joined the Zither Club, Connor was still a freshman at that time. However, one could still tell that the person in the photo was indeed Connor. I didn't expect this Connor to be a fake rich heir. Sierra looked at the photo on her phone and could not help but sneer. Then, she continued, Connor had the nerve to say that he had a villa in Royal Villas. That's hilarious. Why would someone not live in a good villa and instead rent out a room with someone else? Sierra, let's go find Mina and expose Connor. Eve said excitedly to Sierra. Right. Sierra felt that she already had evidence in her hands. She would definitely not let go of such a good opportunity. She immediately picked up her phone and walked towards Mina. At this moment, Mina had just finished her phone call, but her expression was a little ugly. She didn't know what the person on the phone had said to her. Update on B Omicron X0 VEL. C Omicron M. Mina, we have something to tell you. Sierra called out to Mina. When Mina heard Clara's words, she sighed helplessly and whispered, Sierra, I also have something to tell you. You have something to tell me too. When Sierra heard Mina's words, she was stunned. However, when she saw that Mina's expression seemed a little off, she quickly asked, Mina, what do you want to tell me? Sierra, the owner of the villa, called me just now. He said that he won't be renting this house to us for the time being because his parents will be coming back from overseas tomorrow. Mina said to Sierra with a helpless expression. What? When Sierra heard Mina's words, she was stunned on the spot, and her expression was extremely ugly. Sierra, I'm so sorry. Mina said apologetically to Sierra. Sierra stood rooted to the ground with a blank look on her face. For a moment, she did not know what to say. After all, she had already informed her friends in Port Hampton to come to her birthday party tomorrow. If the landlord wanted to take back the villa now, then Sierra would have no place to hold her birthday party. Mina, are you joking with me? Sierra was not in the mood to tell Mina about Connor now. After all, if she could not hold a birthday party tomorrow, it would be a fatal blow to her. Sierra, I'm not joking. The landlord just called me and said that he's not going to rent this house anymore. Mina was also embarrassed. After all, she knew how important this birthday party was to Sierra. Then can't we give him more money now? Sierra bit her lips and whispered. I told the landlord just now. I said that I would give him double the price, but he refused. Mina replied helplessly. When Sierra heard Mina's words, she was completely dumbfounded. Her eyes instantly turned red, and her expression was very aggrieved. It was almost 7 o'clock in the evening now. Even if they were to look for a new house, it would definitely be too late. However, now that the house was suddenly not going to be rented to them, it meant that they might not be able to hold Clara's birthday party. Sierra, who had been so smug just a moment ago, suddenly had an ugly expression on her face. She was a girl with a strong sense of vanity. In order to make her birthday party look more presentable, she had specially asked Mina to help her find a villa in the city. However, she had never expected things to turn out this way. At this moment, Sasha ran to Clara's side and asked with a puzzled expression, "Sierra, why are your eyes red?" "It's all my fault. Just now, the landlord called me and said that he's not renting this villa to us." Mina looked at Sasha helplessly and explained softly. "Not renting it to us?" When Sasha heard this, she was stunned for a moment before she shouted, "Then what about Sierra's birthday party? Sierra has already informed her friends in Port Hampton. If they can't hold this birthday party tomorrow, how is Sierra going to explain it to them?" "That's right. Sierra has been planning this birthday party for such a long time. We can't just not have a birthday party just because this villa won't be rented to us anymore, right?" Mavis hurriedly shouted. "Mina, can you communicate with this landlord again?" Dustin took a step forward and whispered to Mina. "I've already begged the landlord several times just now. I said all kinds of good things, but he just refuses to rent the house to us, or his parents won't have a place to live." Mina replied helplessly. After Connor heard the conversation between these people, he seemed to have guessed what had happened, but he still stood quietly in place and did not speak. "It's almost 7 o'clock in the evening now. If we go out to look for a house, we definitely won't be able to find one. Moreover, we might not be able to find a suitable one," Dustin whispered as he looked at Sierra, whose eyes were red. When Sasha heard this, she was stunned for a moment. Then, she hurriedly looked at Eve's position and shouted, "Mr. Lin, didn't you say that you have a villa? Why don't you lend us your villa?" Eve did not expect that this matter would involve him. He was stunned for a moment, then said with a troubled expression, "Well, my family stays in my villa. If I suddenly bring you back now, my parents will definitely not agree. Mr. Lin, your family is so rich. You should have more than one villa, right?" Sasha quickly continued. Eve was a little speechless by Sasha's words. He said helplessly, "I do have other villas, but none of them have been renovated, and they are all dilapidated. Even if you go over, you won't be able to do anything." When everyone heard Eve's words, they were all stunned on the spot. Actually, they could also tell that Eve just did not want to lend them the house. Chapter end.